What's going on YouTube? It is your boy JRSD here, and I'm here for IBL season number 7, week number 6. This week we're playing my man Lee, coach of the Portland Trail-Blazikens. Coming into the match, we were on a 2-game losing streak. Both games, weeks very close, both 1-0 losses. One was my fault. One was just a close game that didn't go our way. So yeah, we came in 2-3 with a +1 differential, I think. Lee's team, super scary. He has that Dragapult, Togekiss, Crocodile, Mega Gallade, Ferrothorn, Rotom Heat, and then finishes it out with Flowitzer, Porygon 2, Thwackey, Glaceon, Poipole, and Shelmet. So I made trades during this week that you'll see. I'll talk about after. But again, our roster's here: Kira Black, Mega Dancy, etc., etc. And this week, I wanted to bring something different, so I brought, well, 2 things that were different. So starting it off is Chronos, the Kira Black with heavy duty boots, Icicle Spear, Scale Shot, Earth Power, Focus Blast. Basically just coverage for everything. Focus Blast hits Ferrothorn. Because of Terravolt, and so he had physically defensive Colbur Berry on the Slowbro. Slowbro basically really helped versus Gallade. It always breaks a sub with Psyshock if it is max HP, I believe. And then the Colbur Berry there is for if he's Swords Dance knockoff or something like that. Next up, we're bringing LYCANROC for the first time. Spoiler alert, I traded this thing. So I just wanted to see. I wanted to bring it one time. I don't know. But it actually did have a really good matchup. With the Life Orb and Sandrush. Sandrush doesn't really matter, but as you can see, we're bringing Hitmonlee Toss as well. Stone Edge, Close Combat, Sucker Punch, and Play Rough hits basically everything on his team. Sucker Punch after Chip kills Dragapult. Close Combat there for the Ferrothorn and the Crocodile and the Porygon. Stone Edge, obviously Stab is pretty good. His only switch into it is Ferrothorn. Into Stone Edge at least. Maybe Thwackey. And then Play Rough takes care of the Gallade and the Crocodile if I don't want to lower my defenses. Next up, we have Mega Dancy here. Max HP Calm Mind Rock Polish with Moonblast and Mystic Fire. Pretty good matchup. He has stuff like Rotom Heat that this thing can set up on. Also, coming into the match, I thought I could set up on Porygon 2. I could set up on Shelmet if he brought it, obviously. Yeah, so I think just those 2 attacks plus Calm Mind and Rock Polish had a good matchup. We're bringing Swoop, the specially defensive Crobat with the heavy duty boots. No defog on this team. I don't think it really needed it, and his hazards are Ferrothorn, which I can pressure pretty easily with basically every member except Slowbro. So, yeah, with the inner focus ability, Sludge Bomb, Heat Wave, U-Turn, and Roost. Enough speed to outspeed the... I think it was Gallade creeping something on my team. Gallade... No. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. And then the Eviolite, Hippopotas, Pop-Tart coming for the first time, Scorching Sands, Slack Off, Stealth Rock, and Roar. This is basically he has a lot of setup, so this is my kind of counter to that. Yeah, it takes hits from, like, setup Rotom, takes hits from setup Togekiss, from setup Gallade, it can Scorching Sands, maybe get a burn, and then roar it out kind of thing, and setup rocks for the team. yeah, and spoiler alert, we traded Hippopotas as well. So these two guys just came for one game, just in case. So as you can see, he brought Gallade, Dragapult, Clowitzer, Ferrothorn, Porygon 2, and Togekiss. Pretty standard from what I thought he was going to bring. I thought he might have Rotom Heat over Togekiss, just because I had a Kyurem. But, you know, yeah. So I lead, or he leads with Ferrothorn, I lead with Crobat. I figured he might lead with Ferrothorn. He swaps immediately, obviously scouting for the Heat Wave. And I just don't risk it, I just go right for it. And then I U-turn out here on Porygon as he goes for Foul Play. As I go into Slowbro, which terrible luck on my part. I thought he might just go for a Tri-Attack or an Ice Beam or something like that. But he turns out to have Foul Play, which pops my Colbur Berry immediately. So that was unfortunate. You can see he says no Croup, so it's all good, but it was actually for Gallade. I wasn't planning on staying in Croup anyway. He goes Dragon Bolt here, and I wanted to see what his set was. So I just I could take a hit basically and go for U-turn. Probably should have roosted, but I didn't want him set up. He goes into. I go for U-turn into Diancie. He goes into Porygon, and I double into the Hippopotas, thinking he might go straight into the Dragapult again. No, he goes into Porygon on the Diancie. I think he might go into the Clowitzer. No, what was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking, but I went into Hippopotas. I go for Rocks here. He goes into Ferrothorn. I go for Scorching Sands. Does not enough, and he goes for Swords Dance. So it turns out he is offensive Ferrothorn, but on the second Scorching Sands, we grab the burn because Pop Tart's a goat, and then we take a 3-hit Bullet Seed here, and I go into Crobat, knowing I can live a 3-hit Seed or whatever. So I go for Roost there. He goes for Gyro Ball. Obviously, with me not being Poison or Flying type, when I Roost, it does a lot. So this time I just go for Heat Wave, and as I thought, originally he is Aqua Berry. So he will be able to take out Crobat with the Gyro Ball. I go into Kyurem here and get off a Scale Shot. 3 hits killed it, and yeah, so I was basically banking on that. And I get a +1 speed boost. He goes into Porygon here. I go for the Icicle Spear. He can just go for the Recover and kind of heal it off because I'm not the most offensive thing here. I go into Diancie thinking I can probably set up on this thing, but then I go for Calm Mind. He unveils the insane tech of Iron Tail on the Porygon, so I had no idea that even happened. So yeah, he gets me on that one for sure, and he actually crit me, which mattered because that was max HP. But he was an analytic Porygon as well, so it was a roll in my favor, but or in his favor, but yeah, it was still, the crit still mattered. So he goes for Toxic here on the Kyurem, as I thought he might on Hippopotas. Oh god, I just reset it. Here he goes, I go Hippopotas on the Kyurem, or on the Porygon, excuse me. And then I double into Kyurem, thinking that he might go straight into Clowitzer on the Hippopotas, but he actually just was Toxic. I figured he wouldn't want to get Toxic in case I had it, but I didn't actually have it, so Porygon ended up being kind of a problem. I miss a Focus Blast there. It doesn't really matter because you can just recover it off. And Kyurem is Toxic. It's pretty useless at this point. I go for Icicle Spear, just in case he wanted to go to Togekiss. But he is going to end up taking me out with the Toxic there. So Porygon takes out the Kyurem. It's now 5-3, and it's not the greatest position. Here he goes with the Clowitzer, which I thought he would immediately, basically. He goes for Dark Pulse, and he flinches me. So he predicts Slowbro at that point, but you know, could have got up a big hit. Well, could have gotten a burn, but yeah. So I bring in LYCANROC here, and Stone Edge is pretty free, and it does big damage to Plowitzer and takes it out. He goes into Glade here. I go into Slowbro just in case he's like ultra bulky and lives a Play Rough. He goes for Taunt. That doesn't matter. I'm going for Scald. I just want Chip on this thing so that I can take it out with Play Rough at some point. I keep going for Scald. He goes for Toxic. Here he goes into Togekiss. Reveals himself to be Boots, obviously. More Chip on that thing is good as well. Because if he's defensive, Stone Edge needs Chip to KO. I double in Lycanroc there just to get Regenerator. As he goes to Porygon, continues to go for Foul Play. Basically, at this point, I knew Lycanroc, with the coverage that I had, could actually sweep him. If I had, I think, Close Combat, Life Orb, 2 Porygon, 2, did about 60% minimum, 60 to 70 or something like that. So I needed to get Chip or I needed to get a Burn on the Porygon so that 1, I could either take it out within 1 hit with Close Combat, or 2, he couldn't take me out with Iron Tail or Foul Play after. So then on that turn I could go for Stone Edge or something else, get that Chip on Porygon without lowering my defenses, live a hit, and then kill the Porygon after. So I continue to go for Scald here on the Glade. He goes for Close Combat here. And I go for Teleport, getting in the Lycanroc, basically get a kill here. I click Play Rough. Again, all of these moves for me need to hit, so I was kind of scared. I thought maybe he went into Dragapult because seeing Play Rough, maybe he'd think I had, maybe I wasn't for attack and I didn't have Sucker Punch, and maybe I had Stealth Rock or Swords Dance or something like that. But I do have the Sucker Punch, and it does end up taking out the Dragapult there. Here, I go back into Slowbro because I need a little bit more Chip or a Burn on this Porygon. And I just start Scalding, basically. Fishing for the Burn. I've hit it with a couple Scalds already, and had no burns, so I go for Slack Off, blah blah blah. Foul Play comes out. He's not doing much to me other than the toxic damage, but I do end up snagging the Burn there. Finally, on about the 6th Scald, I think we said. So I can teleport out there. Here I can go for Stone Edge, get the Chip, 36. He can't kill me with anything. And then I can take him out with Close Combat, and as long as I land a Stone Edge here on Togekiss, Lycanroc will have brought the game back, which is crazy. So he goes for the Protect here, just to try and ice the kicker, I guess. Yeah, Lycanroc is no Cody Parkey, so Lycanroc picks up the win and gets 5 kills in the meantime, which is kind of wild. Yeah, so we actually traded this thing, which is hilarious. Where is the... Who killed the Ferrothorn? Oh, it was Kira. Yeah. So we made some deals. This wants to load. Okay, so Kiram got killed again. So we traded. Basically, I wasn't happy. Like, I had Lycanroc, but I also had Diancie, so those are 2 offensive rock types that are fast. Didn't really make sense to have both of them. And I had Hippopotas as my ground type, because when the draft was happening, all the good ground types were already taken by the time I got around to it. But it ended up being that Mudsdale got dropped by another coach. So I immediately after that, I decided that I was going to make some changes, get a better ground type. I also wasn't happy with Electivire's kind of, I don't know, lack of... It's versatile, but it's not fast enough. And it kind of... I had 95 speed. I had 95 speed already on the team. In Kiram, so it wasn't the best for me there, and I also didn't have a fighting type. So out of all of this, I ended up trading Lycanroc for Mudsdale, I traded Electivire for Passimian, and then I traded Hippopotas for Manectric. Yeah. So we get a ground type, a good ground type that's not Hippopotas. We get a fighting type out of it that we didn't have before, and lose the redundant rock typing in LYCANROC, and then we grab another low tier electric type. So anyway, we're 3-3. This is the new squad, so Simeon, Mudsdale, and Nenetric join the team. Yeah, and next week we face Sky and the City Thunderous. We still have two transactions that we could make. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. Komala still hasn't come to any matches. So we'll see about that, but yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, if you like Draft League content. We're pumping it out over here, and yeah, leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the game. Anyway, peace out, see you in the next one.